Now let's explore the most common SQL data types, and we'll also have a touch on the types of keys that are being used when creating table structures. Let's head back to the SQL data types. So there are three major categories of SQL data types. The first, we have numeric data type. In numeric data type, we have int, float, decimal, small int and big int. Int is primarily used for the whole numbers like IDs or A's. Float is used for decimal values with floating points. It typically accurate up to 6 digits after the decimals. Now the decimal data type used for precise decimal values. So let's say if you want to have a range of decimal values, then we'll use the decimal data type. Next we have small int and big int. These two data types gets used for storing either a smaller range of integers or larger ranges of integers. The second, we have the character data types. In character data types, we have char, we have varchar, we have text. So the text data type gets used for large set of blocks or texts. For example, if we want to add some comment into a column or description into a column, then we'll use the text data type. Next is char. Char is used when we want to store a fixed length of string like country code, country name, its district. These are the examples. Next we have varchar. So whenever we don't have a fixed length of a particular string that we need to store in our column, so instead of char we use the varchar, and that is the basic difference between char and varchar, that varchar is being used when it to for the variable length of strings and char is used for the fixed length of strings. The third one is date time data types. In date time data types, we have date, date time and timestamp. So date stores only the calendar dates, while date time and timestamp both stores the full date and time values. So let's, for example, at what date, at what time, if we want to store that, then we'll use the date time or timestamp. So other than these three data types, we also have one more data type, which is the Boolean data type, that only stores the true and false values. So whenever we have a use case in which we need to add one flag to our columns, then we'll use the Boolean data type. For example, if we have a set of stores in which few stores are still active but few stores have been closed over the range of time, then for the active stores we'll use the boolean as y, that means active, and for the closed store we'll use the boolean as n, that means it has been closed or it's inactive. Now let's talk about the most commonly used keys in SQL. So these keys basically defines how the data is connected and being ensured to be unique across the tables. So the first is primary key. Primary key defines the uniqueness of a particular row. We can only have one primary key per table and it cannot contain the null values in it. So next is foreign key. Foreign key is simply used to link two tables together. It refers to the primary key of another table and enforces referential integrity. So let's imagine we have two tables and primary key of both tables are different. But if we want to link both of these two tables together, there has to be a common key. Let's say the common key of the first table is being linked with a common key of second table, but that common key in the second table is the primary key of that particular table. So that primary key becomes the foreign key for the first table. The third key is unique key. Unique key ensures that all values in a column are unique. similar to the primary key. But there is a main difference between unique key and primary key, that unique key can contain the null values in it, but primary key cannot contain the null values in it. Next is composite key. So whenever a particular table uses a set of columns together to define the uniqueness of a particular row, the combination of those set of columns becomes the composite key for that table. It is also used when no single column alone is the unique in a particular table. Next is candidate key. This contains all the columns that can uniquely identify a particular row. From these, one is chosen as a primary key. For example, let's take the employee data. In that employee table, we have ID, employee email, and employee contact number. These three columns are the unique column in that particular table. So those three columns will become the candidate keys for that table. So these keys plays a major role in building a strong, reliable relational models. The work of these keys isn't over at the time of creating the table structure, but it's also beyond that as well. Whenever you want to write a particular SQL code, or you want to write any materialized view or materialized table, you want to build some data model or stuff, these keys always comes into the picture. So in the next video, we'll discuss all these keys through an example. I hope you like the video. See you in the next one. Thank you.